So we got Civil Wars Part 2 and holy shit, the twist of a lifetime. Oh my god. Tarlock 2.0, what turns out was not a good guy. Nice. That's how I got blow out the mic, but I don't care. I just point more this way. There we go. Focus. There we go. Okay, so alright, so on the one hand,
who knew?
On the one hand, yes, it was so friggin' obvious. On the other hand, he wasn't doing anything necessarily to indicate. Well, no, as soon as he brought in the other people, like, hey, we have to keep everybody separate, we have to. I mean, it's like.
Wait a second, let's go back to like episode 1.
No. To us, it's obvious, okay. But to everyone else, it's sort of like. Particularly Korra, you can sort of understand it, but as soon as you start bringing the soldiers, it's like.
Oh, the second the soldiers came in, I would have been like, wait a second.
Yeah, this is not cool. And yeah, you understand it enough, so I'm sort of at a crossroads, mostly leaning towards, yeah, come on, couldn't you tell? Because, I don't know, if the audience can tell it's so obvious, why have the characters go so long through not knowing? You know, I thought by episode 2 she would have figured it out. Or 3, I mean.
Howard Hughes figured it out. He said as much in the episode. He's like, hey, I've been saying it from the beginning.
Yeah, so, was he? I don't even remember. Oh, maybe he was, yeah. Well, they were after him, so, which, by the way,
he's my favorite character.
He's so funny, and, oh, now I'm forgetting her name. Oh, I just added the crazy girlfriend, now fiance.
Oh, wait, what are the, Desna and,
Esna?
Esna?
You know what, we're not gonna try. We think that's it, but don't.
Desi Lou.
Yeah, Desi Lou. We'll call them Desi and Lou. So, it is strange because all these are side stories. You got Bolin, you got the, you know, and obviously his now fiance. You got Tenzin and the stuff going on with his family. That great scene where he comes across the daughter and she's making her new family.
That scene was one step away removed from like Bridge to Terabithia crazy. But like where she's talking to the flying buffalo
nice.
there. No, it's okay. He's nice. It's cool. And it's like scary.
We rule the Water Nation and nothing crushes us.
It was charming, but take it one step further and it's like,
be insane. As crazy as it is talking to baby buffalo with arrows on there. I was asking, how the hell do they tattoo the arrows?
It's a natural birthmark. It's on the fur. You spray you spray paint it on.
I guess so. I don't know, but you know, you got that story going on. You got the artist formerly known as Howard Hughes, who's hilarious. You got all this stuff going on. And
in that platypus bear outfit, which by the way, if you put jackrabbit ears on a platypus bear, it's a platypus bunny. I kept laughing. I'm just like, it's totally a platypus bunny.
Why do the word platypus have to be so funny? It's just, you want to put it on everything.
Blame the Australians.
And you got all this going on, and yeah, sort of again, like, not that this was a bad Korra episode, like, for the character, I mean, she didn't do anything. If anything, she has some nice kick-ass moments.
She actually did something in this episode, which is what I've been at least waiting for.
Yeah, and of course the big fight, you know, don't do anything rash, and I mean, we're just like, what? No.
Mercy!
But it was a cool scene, and at the very least, I mean, she could... Okay, the one thing that bothers me is that she couldn't sense that the judge was so obviously bought off, and just... Because all it took to change his mind was going up, yeah, it's just like, you know, be lenient on them. Okay, it's like, all it takes is the equivalent just going, come on! And it's like, I don't like how she went up, it's like, you're gonna let him go, because again, it's like, what do you think is going to... If she went up and said, okay, I think something's up, I think you were bought off, that would make more sense, but it's like, come on,
we were joking when he was explaining the whole thing to her, and we were just like, really? You couldn't figure this out? It was like episode 1 material. I mean, come on, I'm obviously bought off.
You know, and then
what do you mean my uncle's bed? Really?
Well, then, you know, and with the father, too, I'm sort of realizing that it's, you know, when he tells her, don't do anything rash, it's like, do they know this character? Do they? Of course she's gonna, you know, wouldn't it make more sense if he grabbed her and, you know, don't do anything rash, and she says, okay, and he grabs her and says, no, really, listen to me, don't do anything, you know, act like... Although, I guess he's been away for years. I mean, like, they haven't seen each other. I guess that kind of makes sense.
They're getting old.
Yeah, or maybe that, too. I don't know. But no, it's like the connections with Korra are not... like I said, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not the strongest. All the other connections are the ones I really want to watch.
The funny thing is, I've read some backlash against her threatening the judge, or you know, sicking Naga on the judge. The funny thing is, that didn't bother me because I would assume that she knows Naga well enough that Naga would never bite down unless she gave an explicit order. So what I found more disturbing is the first words out of her mouth was something to the effect of, "If you take his life, I take yours. Motherfucker." I was like, holy shit, did she just threaten a judge in front of like 100 people?
Yeah, now to be fair, that's more stupid than it is. I don't think she would actually kill the guy, but it's like, it's just stupid, you know, and it's, I don't know, it's like, you see the cool kick-ass scenes, like she goes in and out of the Avatar state and that's going to move the ships, and
she did something. Which,
yeah, I mean, she did some cool stuff. The threatening scene is a cool scene. It's just more, it's like, can it be more...
I had to laugh because somebody on my Facebook was like, oh yeah, in this episode, like, Korra finally does stuff and she takes action and she finds out that, you know, her uncle is bad and she's fighting to right the wrongs, and, are you happy, Robin Dog? Are you happy? And I was like, whoa, calm down, okay. Shh, fanboy, go to sleep, go to sleep. I'm like, yes, I'm happy. But I am a little kind of weirded out that it only took the threatened death of her parents for her to finally wake up and be like, oh yeah, there's like things happening. Maybe I should be concerned now.
Yeah, I think my big problem is, I hate doing these vlogs and being like, you know, my problem with Korra this week, but it's kind of true. There's always sort of that dumb, come on, catch on to it. And not seeing he's the villain, like I said, I can give a little bit of leeway because he is very persuasive, and even we're sort of like, well, I mean, we know he's the bad guy, obviously, but at the same time, you can see how she's kind of being duped. It's that she goes up to the judge, and if she could pick up, hey, something is up here, something is wrong here, it would make sense, because anyone could watch that trial and be like, well, wait a minute, this doesn't add up. Obviously, something's going on. But instead, you know, she goes against her father's orders, you know, and does the stupid
Don't do
move.
anything rash.
Yeah, no, and does the stupid move.
She didn't do anything rash. Her giant man, bear, pig, polar dog did something rash.
Well,
let's keep it straight.
under her order, yeah. And
no, Naga was concerned. Did you not listen to her? Naga was upset. She's a special dog with needs.
It's the fact that she didn't pick up on and was still threatening the judge, and, you know, change it around. I mean, pretty much acting like a thug. I mean, not... like you were saying,
very thuggish.
Yeah, but we can
She went totally vigilante Batman.
No.
I mean, that was like something out of the Dark Knight.
We can get behind vigilante Batman cool stuff.
If she was smart.
Yes, if she was smart. If she was doing it for, hey, what's going on? Where is he? You know, like...
But she didn't even know! He gave up the information by mistake, and she's like, oh yeah, wait, what? I'm like, you didn't know.
I mean, I knew it all along.
Change the sentence. I was only following orders. I said change the sentence. Wait, what orders?
Like, yeah, I mean, it's...
Oh my god.
So, she still has some cool kick-ass scenes, but it's like you said, evolve the character.
Okay, two positives, at least. I mean, high five, bro. We called it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we called it from the beginning, but here's the thing. At least this whole kind of detour where it's like, yes, he's obviously the bad guy, yes, move it along. 3 episodes. I've seen shows where they do this for 12 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, now we can get into the spirits
Tarlok,
again.
and I mean, let's be fair. I mean, Unalak's a little different. Tarlok, that went nearly 12. I mean, what was it? 8 episodes before finally he was outed. So we went through this.
That was even that was episode 1. It's just like even tense. It's like no, you're a bad guy. You want power. I just can't get rid of you yet. I mean,
to be fair, wasn't Korra kind of blackmailed into that in the first season? Like, she didn't want to.
I don't remember that being a big problem. It was more the other
stuff.
So, I mean,
okay, obviously outed. Took like 8 episodes. So, I mean, to be fair, we're like only, 3 episodes, 4 if you count the first as a 2-parter or something. Like, so...
is it 5? 4 or 5? Oh, I don't know.
This is episode...
I thought this was like 5 or something. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's
whatever.
Many more coming up.
Yeah, hopefully we're done with the blatantly obvious bad guy. Like, I mean, it's all done now. He's been outed. Korra knows what's going on, and I do, to some degree, actually like how Unalaq is able to back Korra, not required her to be dumb to get her there in the first place, but I do like how he's created the perfect trap. He's like, go ahead, start a war. That's not, your job as the Avatar then is forfeit. It's like I've totally backed you into a corner. It's like, oh yeah, well you need me to open up the... No, I don't. I was like, she's really kind of screwed. Like, so I'll be interested to see how, like, it seems like they wanted to get her to that point where she's completely backed into a corner, and I'm totally for that. I just wish they found a way to do it where she didn't have to be just kind of clueless.
Yeah, I mean,
but
if the audience can figure... I mean, I don't even think it's like grown-ups. I mean, it's like kids can look at this guy and be like, bad guy. I mean, it's like...
there were Scooby-Doo villains that were more, difficult to figure out.
Why make her not catch on to it? I don't know. At the very least, you could make it...
after Tarlok. You would have thought that because they seem so
it's
similar.
Like, we've seen it. So it's like, at the very least... I mean, they did make him kind of charming and everything, but... you still know it's the bad guy, and make it a legitimate shock that he's the bad guy and not so obvious.
I will say the second thing that I kind of like, I agree, it's been handled a little kind of but
how'd that sound go again? Just how do you go again?
But the second thing I kind of like is it took me a while to figure this out. It was like 3 episodes in, but I realized Korra's Achilles heel as a person is she has no intuitiveness, like 0 intuitive abilities. And what's interesting about that is the exact opposite of Aang. Aang was, he spent a lot of time not fighting, pretty much. He was looking for a way to get out of fighting at the very end of the series.
Yeah, it was more escaping.
He was always escaping, and he was always trying to learn, and he was very intuitive. He could read people, he was trying to solve people's problems, he was trying to be the Avatar. Korra, to her credit, and I don't think it's a bad idea, again, I think it could be executed a little better, but she is 180 degrees different. She is all action. She's all, I'm gonna do something. Let's do something. I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm gonna do this. But when it comes to reading people and having like an intuitive ability to sense what's going on, she's terrible at it. Like really, really terrible.
But you want a good example of that done right? I don't know if it's a strange comparison or a perfect comparison. Look at Zuko. Zuko was always like, he was very rash and he would rush in, and Iroh was there trying to, calm him down and take a chance and take a breath at time. And he was still a fascinating, smart, intriguing character. And nobody would look at Zuko and be like, what a dummy. They could see very much why he has this ambition, why he rushes in, why he has this impatience. But he has this great skill as well, which Korra does. But he's not a doofus, and he's not obviously fooled. And I think they could incorporate something very similar into Korra.
Well, part of the problem is, I don't know if it's occurred to you, but what is Korra missing?
The intelligence not to be duped.
No. Think hard about this. A backstory. Both Aang and Zuko had an actual, really functioning backstory. Aang's story got kicked in
that's true.
After he went into the ocean. Zuko had his whole backstory with his father. What is Korra's backstory?
That's a really good point.
Her parents have more of a backstory right now, and
this is
the one thing that does kind of bother me about this season in particular is Season 1 should function as her backstory, as this is how she's gotten here, and the one thing, I was trying to figure out what word I was looking for, because I was like, I don't want to say she's regressed. So I was asking on Facebook, and a couple people came up with a great term for it. It was like, it's more like stagnation. Like, we hit a certain point, and she's just stopped. And I feel that way. Like, when I look back on Season 1, which I thought was an awesome season, and Season 2 so far I think has been fun, but when I look at Season 2, I'm like, what did I need to see in Season 1?
Yeah, that would lead her.
Was there anything I really needed to see that, this explains everything that's going on now? I'm not feeling it yet.
Yeah, she lost her powers.
I needed Season 1 to get to this
She lost her powers, hit her lowest point, and immediately got it back. And it's like,
it's kind of right back where... Yeah, she's kind of like right back where she was right before she lost her powers.
Yeah, so it's...
I don't know, I just don't feel like... That's my one problem so far, is like, I'm still having trouble feeling Korra. I feel her a little more here because she did stuff. Like, if we can joke about it that, yeah, she's turned into a thug a bit and this and that, but at least there's, like, action and a character motivation. So I'm hopeful that this is, like, the start.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna start here, like, maybe they come like, all right, we wrote ourselves into a corner at the end of season 1. It's like, we gotta start a new plot, and, like, okay, maybe now the plot really begins. It's like, okay, this is gonna be her character journey, her arc.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing, too. I mean,
that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm actually more psyched now than I
get
was
the
in any
spirits
other
back
episode.
in there too. Yeah. So, yeah, and everything else, love it. Love the side
I know. It's like I
characters.
can't complain about anything.
Yeah,
else.
no, and
I know some people have a problem with Bolin being too goofy, but
oh, I think it's hilarious.
I do too. I don't mind it. The only thing that's bothering me is I actually would like to see Bolin get Asami. Like, I think those two actually in their own kind of way would
I do
be
want a
made
little bit
for
more,
each other,
Bolin,
but-
Asami with the, the artist formerly known as Howard Hughes. Like, I actually sort of want to know the business dealings, and it looks like they're still going to be together, which is fine. I mean, like, they're going to be on this adventure now.
I mean, the Shining twins are fun, but
they crack me up. I can't get
I love them too. But I'm like, I don't know how long they're going to be able to milk that. I'm like, okay, at some point I think you need to move on a little, so.
I don't know. I can
That
still,
ending, though.
I can still take it for a little bit. I think they're really
Is this boat
funny.
fast enough to get away from my crazy ex-girlfriend?
Why do you think I built it?
Vroom! And
Love
that
it.
platypus bear is pooping money.
So, yeah, everything about this season I really enjoy, I really love, except Korra. And it's not like a hate, I don't hate her or anything, but it's like, yeah, just...
Is she so far, I think it's like Mako last season. It's like,
Yeah, so the weakest
and
part.
I've never said there's nothing wrong with Mako. He's a perfectly fine, serviceable character, damn it. But when you've got so many other great characters, he's kind of like, yeah, he is the one that you can kind of say is the weakest out of all of them.
I think you really hit it with the backstory.
And this time it's switched, and now it's
I think you hit it with the backstory. I think that the others had a past, and they had something to learn from. They had a base to start from, and all she has is this ability and living up to that ability, which is a lot of pressure, but Aang had that too, and this backstory, and Zuko had this backstory too.
Well, and look at Tenzin. I mean, that whole bit with
Tenzin had a wonderful
Tenzin is
backstory,
silly, and I mean, let's be honest here. What happened in that part of the story?
Oh,
Nothing.
we're a family, but it's like I
He
really
found his,
wanted to know. I
he
wanted
found
to know
his
about
daughter.
the history.
And what was the best part of this episode? When they flashed the picture that showed Aang and Katara
Oh, yeah, just
and the three kids, and it's because you have that backstory there. And that was a story that did nothing. He looks for his daughter. They have a fucking tea party.
We're still a family, yay! But
Yeah, but
I'm still
because
so
you
invested.
know the backstory, you're so much more invested in it. And even her parents.
Even
like,
hints at the backstory that
and
they give.
Korra's parents, I was more kind of like, wow, because I know the father's backstory, I know the uncle's backstory, and, you know, it may be something out of Thor, but, you know, like two brothers who were jealous of it, you know, it works because of that.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with Mako, but like, pretty much any of them have, I think, sort of a functioning backstory, and Korra's the only one that I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure how much is there. At least, I guess maybe Bolin and Mako don't have a huge backstory, but Bolin's
Bolin's
comic relief,
comedy,
and Mako's
yeah.
attached to Korra. So.
No, and Mako, they hinted at a backstory, and they gave him a little bit of one. I wouldn't mind actually knowing more of his backstory, honestly. Because I remember the scarf, there's something with the scarf, like his dad gave it to him or something like that. So I mean, I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit more.
Yeah, there were things. So far, Korra's big thing is she couldn't airbend, and...
Because she's, you know, being aggressively dumb, and she's not really learning, you know. It's like we thought she learned in the first season, but nope, just still aggressively dumb, so
Well, and even if you want to
step it up.
argue, because I've talked to some people about this, and I'm like, you know, if you want to argue that they're making her impulsive to differentiate her from Aang, and that that's going to be her thing, that she's just never going to be intuitive, she's always going to be action-oriented, and we have to deal with it, I'm okay with that, but it does become a test of patience when you know as an audience member something that the character doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're kind of sitting
so
here like
frustrating.
biding your time, like get on with it. But
Because we
again,
can't relate with the character because we're 3 steps ahead of her. So why do we want to be with a character that's 3 steps behind us?
but again, in defense, 3 episodes. I've seen this done much worse. I'm just grateful it's over.
yeah, let's. I like
maybe
to see
now
what
we
they're gonna
can
do
move
now.
on,
Like I said,
yeah.
that's what we thought we were like more of the spirits, more of the spiritual world. Let's see her learn about this. Let's see her go into the spiritual world.
That was Did you pick up on the other line that, no, you're going to have to go and talk to the president because we're going to need the United Forces help. And if you need the United Forces, you know what that means.
Iroh!
More General
Dante Bosco! More of that, please. Yes, would definitely... That'd be cool. I hope they do that. That'd be great. Wouldn't it be great if he's like just part of the whole?
He's gotta come back.
Yeah, he had that little thing at the end. It's like, wouldn't it be great if he's like now like a permanent. Like
considering
the
fangirl joygasm when he came back last season, like you would have thought the internet exploded.
So yeah, hopefully, let's see her go. Get into the spirit world. Get into developing. Her, make her intuitive.
I'm psyched now. I'm hopeful. I could be wrong. I'm hopeful that like, okay, now we've got the plot rolling. We've turned over a new leaf. We're good. We're good to go. Bring it on. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
Let's go. Let's go. Bye.